There's a bright line between good and evil, right and wrong. And we know this as humans because we are fundamentally and naturally good. Hey, what's up, everybody? We are back. We back. We are back for another Power recap. Are you guys excited that Power is back? Because I sure am. I'm just, chilling, laid back, One of them nice little Sundays. We just here, okay? Definitely make sure you guys go ahead, start your comments back up. I want to see what you guys have to say. Also, make sure that you share this video. Let me know what you guys are watching as well. If you want to, I might consider some of them shows for recaps coming up in the future. Because, I got to start getting the ball rolling with some other shows as well. So, let's go ahead and get right into it. Davis MaClean, he and Saxe, as we saw before the break, they have teamed up. They ready to take Tyrek down. MaClean, he's trying to get that win. And Saxe, he's also trying to see what he can do to kind of get a win. Because for MaClean, it will possibly end up as a mistrial, I think he said. But a mistrial for him would still be a win because at the end of the day, they would be able to convict Tyrek. So, boom, boom, boom. Here you go. You still getting that victory, which is what he's out to get. Oddly enough, we got Mr. Two-Bit, aka Francis Johnson, is back on the scene. So I don't know, like his smart ass and the things that he says, it definitely brings a little spice and a little flair into stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because he's one of those people, he ain't trying to snitch for nothing. Like, he's by the street code. He's not switching up for nobody. He's not trying to just do what he gotta say to get out. He's not like the other dude that got shot. You see the repercussions when you do those types of things when you work in this line of duty, if you want to call it that. So, yeah, first he wasn't trying to take nothing from Saxe when Saxe had initially talked to him, but then MaClean had his people as well as himself reach out to him, kind of was able to relate to him a little bit more. Also had, I was about to say Angela. What's her name? You know what I'm talking about. The Hispanic lady. We have her. She's on suspension right now because of Saxe, but she was able, well, not even just because of Saxe, because of all the stuff that she was doing as well, kind of messed her up. So she's back on there. She was trying to talk to him, let her know, like, she's trying to take Saxe down as well. So, yeah, initially, like I said, he wasn't really trying to do it, but later on we see he did kind of fold to a certain extent, because Saxe said, MaClean said that he would be his lawyer, represent him, and make sure that he got something that was just and fair. Monet, she takes Diana and Drew so she could put them to work, let them see how to get their hands dirty, which I'm like, these are your kids at the end of the day. Do you really want them mixing up with all that stuff? They supposed to be like heirs, kind of. That's how I kind of think of them. Like, y'all like royalty. Y'all wearing the Chanel, y'all Louis Vuitton, Gucci, whatever. They wearing all this upper class stuff, all the time. You see Monet's outfits, like, just with that being said, you would think that they wouldn't have to do those types of things, that type of work, but she wants to show them that they're not really doing anything. They need to start like seeing, I guess, kind of like how you have these privileged kids, they're spoiled, they're so used to getting everything. She wants to make sure they get their hands dirty as well, so they don't take what they get for granted, I'm assuming. So yeah, she puts their phones to the side, makes them go to work. But Drew did end up getting a phone call from his boy toy. That it's funny because she had mentioned y'all need to not be going up to that school, being up in people's beds and stuff like that. And when Zeke heard that, he thought that meant Diana was in Tyrek's bed and she's sleeping with him. So he wanted to go and try to press Tyrek because of this miscommunication. And the crazy thing is, Drew didn't even say that it wasn't her when the mother said it, and the mother kind of walked away and Zeke tried to press her. Like, Drew just kind of let it rock. And as soon as I seen that, I'm like, watch this dude try to go press Tyrek. Watch. And that's exactly what happens. He goes up to the school to try to press him, but he wasn't there. But before that happened, what happened? We seen a scene where Tyrek, he was in class nice and early, honey. You know, they was talking about good and evil and all that types of stuff, and just having a great debate, which, you know, those things are actually, it can be really good for the brain, get people's minds going and things like that. But after that, Tyrek, well, Riley had came over to see, no, I'm mixing up the scenes. So there was a scene where he was in Lauren's room talking to her, and then her boyfriend came through, and I didn't really like the way her boyfriend was talking to her. I mean, I feel like her boyfriend is trying to make sure she stays on the right track, but I feel like it's mainly because he doesn't want to be connected to anybody who's not doing well as well, because he has his standards up here, so she has to kind of reach where he's at, as opposed to somebody like Tyrek, who he just lives, you know, he does what he wants to do, but he's still smart, and he's still, if he really wants to, he could be a really good businessman. So that's the difference between the two of them, from what I'm seeing. And he was just kind of like, I think he's starting to kind of find out that, okay, something might just be going on, because homie was in her room again, just the two of them. This is the second time. I mean, if he didn't come in, they was going to get their little lip locking on, and who knows what would have went down after that, because he's clearly feeling her, but he's also feeling Diana. But Diana, she's getting her little jealousness on, because she's tight about the situation that happened back at the school when he's seen him walk away with her. So she's like, damn, like, you know, I'm feeling him, but he ain't really feeling me like that. So now Riley, she went to go see Brayden, but when she went, he wasn't there. Crazy thing is, that's part of what I was telling y'all before, where Zeke, I mean, not Zeke, I'm talking about, did I say Zeke earlier? Y'all, I gotta get back with the names. Kane. I dead said Zeke, didn't I? I meant to say Kane, y'all. I'm all over the place. I need to go lay down. So Kane, he went up to the school, and he went into the room, and then Brayden, just being the person that he is, you know, he loves to talk, he says way too much. Like, he's like, yo, we don't have your money right now, because he was already in a tussle with his brother, because his brother stole his pills, distributing them to his friends and them. So he was already like having a fight with him. In walks this dude, and then on top of that, Brayden already knew Kane's name. He already knew, like, yo, you know, I'm one of your partners, but not really, because I'm kind of like a partner with Tyrek. You know, he was just saying way too much, and I'm just sitting here like, this is why homie didn't want to tell you anything, because of this exact reason, because now you're becoming a threat because you know too much. His brother knew nothing at all. His brother thought it was just, he could be like, yo, do you know who I am? Like, no, that means nothing in the streets, nothing at all, you know, unless you're like a kingpin or something like that, or queen pin like Tasha. It means absolutely nothing. So yeah, your rich daddy from, you know, your rich daddy in school, or your rich parents, it means absolutely nothing to these people. Like, you could just become another body and they wouldn't even miss you. So yeah, after all of that, he's like, yo, y'all taking a ride with me. So he takes them. Yo, he dead puts them on two separate corners. Of course, Brayden, being the person that he is, you know, very charismatic, and just, you know, it could have went two ways. They could have either thought he was a narc, which initially they kind of did. But when they seen him smoking and stuff, they like, And then he had all these pills. Like, he got all his products sold. Meanwhile, by the time they come back for his brother was there trying to find people to buy the products. Wasn't working. And then some Hispanic dudes came up, and they was ready to steal his product and beat him up. So he did get a little beat down, but I'm pretty sure from then he won't try to steal people's stuff. And on top of that, this dude was still ready to snitch, because he don't know. He's like, maybe we should press charges on that Kane guy. Brayden's like, yo, drop it, son. That dude, I forgot his name right now. I should have looked up his name, but the Hispanic cop that she's sleeping with, he came, you know, stopped Kane's car and all that stuff, and just had a little quick chat with him, took the two dudes out, and, you know, took them back home and all that. But he also had a talk with Monet, because he's like, Kane's really getting out of hand, and somebody needs to have a talk with him, because he's becoming where you can't even control him. And obviously that's a problem, because he's gonna bring heat to you, because those are two well-connected boys that he kidnapped. And if they were to go and snitch or whatever, you're gonna have the whole squad coming over here to come and arrest you. Like, it's that serious. But she told him, you know, just kind of pipe the brakes a little bit. You're not his father. At the end of the day, his father can talk to him, but you need to stay out of this. But he's like, yeah, but it's funny how you're always calling me to clean up the dirty work when stuff happens. Which, I mean, at the end of the day, he's right. What's his father gonna do? He can't do much from where he's at. He could do some things, but he can't really keep him in line the way he needs to be kept in line. That's the whole thing. So yeah, I'm hoping that, you know, after that little beating that Trace, Braden's brother, got, he, number one, keeps his mouth shut, and number two, make sure that if he finds pills again or any product that his brother has, he don't think like, oh, this is my younger brother, I can just go and steal his stuff. So, and it's funny because being that there were two white boys on corners, the Hispanic cop said that there was actually reports coming in saying that there was white boys on the corners slinging drugs. I guess because that's such a abnormal thing, maybe people didn't want them in their territory, or maybe they thought they were cops, like trying to get people arrested. Like, it could have been so many different reasons, because people in the hood don't be calling cops like that, you know? But I guess it's so abnormal, they're like, nah, something ain't right here. Something ain't right. They on the wrong side of town, honey. Following that, what happened? Oh, so when they went up to the school, well, Diana, she went to the school because she found out, well, because her brother, he went to the school to go be with that boy Everett or whatever his name is, you know, get his little booty call on, which I'm like, dude, at the end of the day, you just being used, so you need to like cut that short and just go along about your business and find somebody else, because this guy wants you to be his secret lover, and you don't need that, because at the end of the day, you just gonna get your feelings hurt. He probably gonna get in a relationship with a female just to cover his tracks, or he's gonna be laughing at you or something. Like, he's gonna make you look stupid again. I mean, he already did it to you, so you need to let this dude go, because he already showed you who he was, you know. But yeah, that's with him. But yeah, he went up there, and you know, now Monet knows because Diana snitched on him, so she went up to school to try to see Tyrek, and she finds out because somebody delivered the pills with tutoring supplies to the boy that Drew was talking to, and he ends up telling her. So, but he was like, don't tell Monet, because that might stop us from being able to come up here. You know, he trying to get his little booty calls on and stuff like that, so he trying to get banned from there. And he's like, I know you like Tyrek, and she's like, well, he don't like me like that anyway, so it's whatever. But he's like, don't tell her. She goes to see him. He's being all suspicious. I'm like, dude, why you don't just tell her that Riley is in your room playing chess with you, waiting for this dude, for Braden? Like, she could have dead told her that, but I guess maybe he didn't want her to see her for any connections, because I think he's starting to find out or kind of see that there's something not right with Riley. Like, she was going through his stuff when he came in the room. She was looking through his side of the room as opposed to Braden's, and she's always there, so she knows the two different sides, you know. And then she looked at his phone, took a picture. She was like, oh, you could tell me if Braden's in trouble or anything like that, and just like questioning him down, even though her uncle clearly told her to stay away from them. So I guess maybe that's why he was kind of protecting her, didn't want her to see too much, didn't want the connection to be made in any type of way. You know, I think that that's kind of what it was, because he was just, I'm like, dude, you could just tell her, because she's just thinking that it's Lauren in the room. Even if something fell, she dropped his phone when she was being snoopy. So at that moment, I think that was when Diana's like, yo, this dude ain't really feeling me like that. Like, he really liking this light-skinned chick, and he not liking me. Like, you know, there's probably a lot of things going through her head. Like, I see what type of people he likes. He likes the bougie chicks that go to college and are rich and stuff like that. You know, she's rich, obviously, but she's like hood rich. She's not elite, top of the line rich, you know? So I guess that's the difference between, you know, what she's kind of thinking in her head. That's what I would be assuming. And for him to be acting so suspicious at that point as well, that's another red flag. So anyway, at that point, she told him that she knew about the pills, how he's distributing. He says, don't tell Monet. By the time she get home, what she do, she tell Monet. Monet talks to him. She told Diana, like, so you bringing this information to me for what? So I could shut him down because you like him? She's like, yo, just leave it at business and that's it. I don't mind what he's doing. You know, as long as he's bringing in the money, it's whatever. And he's getting a good profit. I think he's getting like double or triple the amount that he has to pay them. So he's getting a profit and he's giving a profit to them. And on top of that, he has to give profit. He has to give something to that other dude that helped to fund his business, fund the app. So, I mean, he's a smart business dude. At the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do to make this bread. So yeah, that's how that was going down. He goes on a stand, right? And he made Saxe look like a straight idiot. Like I don't know if this was planned, and that's the part I was trying to figure out. Like, was this planned? Because I know him and MaClean have this like thing going on where, you know, they're trying to get people to bring up Tyrek so the heat is taken off of Tasha. So it's kind of what happened, because he did mention how he did mention Tyrek several times. He was like, I think he was supposed to like snitch on Tommy or whatever, but he didn't do that. He said he didn't know who Tommy was and all that stuff. Like, he just made Saxe look like a straight idiot. He like totally flipped. And then he said that he was given transactional immunity, and he also has a lawyer now. So he knows, like, yo, even if you think that I'm committing perjury, you have no proof. And all I had to do was come up here on the stand in order to be given immunity. So I'm good. Pop your collar one time, you know? So I'm here. I'm doing what you asked me to do at the end of the day. I'm not going to say what you want me to say, but I'm here. And so, yeah. So he did mention, like I said, he mentioned that he did see Tyrek one time and he helped him when he was lost. But he was like, he doesn't know Tasha, and he doesn't think that she's a kingpin or queenpin or whatever the hell you want to call it, people. You know, he doesn't believe that because he would have heard about her. So that's pretty much that. So yeah. And the jury that they picked for this case, they handpicked people that they knew would be more sympathetic towards someone like Tasha, who might have just been from struggle and had to do what she had to do to like help her family out and stay aloft and things like that. So, you know, they picked Hispanic and Black people as the majority of the juror. And of course, Steven, who's I guess higher than or something, you know, on a higher level than Saxe, who's the district attorney, I believe. You know, he's like, yo, what the hell is this? Like, why did you pick these particular people? Even the judge, when they were picking, is like, wow, this was very civil of you guys. Like, I thought this would have been a lot harder. So yeah, like we said about Kane, going back to him, he's definitely like just out of control, doing whatever the hell he wants to do. And when he was confronted by Monet, and she tried to check him real quick about the stuff that he was doing, he was trying to kind of shrug Diana off of him because Diana was trying to stop them from arguing, and he ended up knocking his mother down. Like, and you know, I mean, even if that was a West Indian household, let me tell you something. It would have been like, yo, he knocked me down, he beat me up. Like, it would have been so exaggerated. Even if you go like this to try to stop somebody from hitting you, like let's say your mother's trying to hit you, and you go like this, they'll say that you beat them up. Like, that's just how a lot. I won't say all, because some you know, everybody's not the same, but a lot of the ones that I've been to or personally been in, that's what they do. Like, she tried to beat me up and fight me. Like, I'm just trying to defend myself so I don't get knocked into the ground. I'm just supposed to stay here like a little punching bag. So Yeah, but he kind of like made her fall down. I think he kind of like, because his arm went like that, I think he actually did strike her. So she fell on the ground and he tried to help her up. She looked at him like, you piece of shit. Like, she dead shrugged him off like, nah, we're not doing that. And so following that, you know, she was kind of done with him. And that kind of shows like, he's really getting out of control, and he's a man now, so it's really harder for her to control him unless she's pulling out guns on him. And he's so far gone that you don't know, you know, like, he's just unpredictable. He's gonna do what the hell he wants to do, and he's getting super reckless. And if it wasn't for the cop dude, it would have been a lot worse, you know. So he goes to see his father. I guess his father probably requested him or whatever. Maybe he was just trying to tell him what's going down. You know, they had a real heart-to-heart. It was real nice. And I was just like, you know, maybe that helped him to see. He was like, you know, you gotta treat her like you would treat me, because she's the one holding things down right now. You know, I'm just like, he's like, you can never swing on your mother, you know? And he's like, you wouldn't do that to me, so you don't do that to her. You know, just, and they was talking in Spanish and everything. It was real nice, you know? And that's how it is, and I feel like that's how it should be in households where your parents know a different language. I feel like that should always be something you pass down to the generations. That's just me personally. Like, if I knew a whole ton load of different languages, you know, my kids would definitely be sure to know that. But I was like, yo, that was a real nice little conversation they had. But hold on, wait a minute. Then we see that it wasn't as easy as we thought, because he's about to leave, and all of a sudden you see his father kind of do a little winky wink, and there go the guards. They just kind of like shut off the cameras and start taking out their shit and start beating him. Like, dead. I think they cracked his nose. He had some cuts in between here. Like, I would be surprised if his nose wasn't broken and he had a little bit of a limp for a few days. And then his dad comes out, like, didn't even have to touch the boy. Comes out like, yo, don't you ever put your hands on my wife again. You know, like, you're my son, yes, but you done lost your mother effing mind, and I'm gonna have to check real quick. Like, you thought it was just gonna be a little talk, and I feel like with him, that's the kind of language that he speaks. You know, I'm pretty sure he doesn't want that ever again. So he's going to make sure that he watches himself going forward. If it would have just been a little talk, it probably would have happened again. That's just like an abuser. You be like, oh my God, babe, I can't believe you just hit me. And then, you know, y'all get into another argument or whatever, disagreement. Here they go box you again, because they're like, you know what, I did it. There were no repercussions. She still stayed with me. So I'm going to do it again until she either leaves or I get in trouble somehow. Who gonna check me, boo? So I feel like for him, that's kind of what he needed, you know? But yeah, hashtag free 2-Bit. 2-Bit is free. He's out there, and we're going to see what's going to happen next. Hopefully he get his act together. He be chilling, but it doesn't seem like it. Like, he's like, and you know, he's so street that I feel like he's just going to maybe make some bad deals or try to get in on somebody's action somewhere. Maybe hold something over Tyrek's head. I mean, I don't know. We shall see, honey. We shall see. Who knows? Maybe he might even give Tyrek the little heads up, like, yo, I had to say your name. Like, I don't know, but we'll see what happens. Let me know what you think down below. I will see y'all next weekend.